Following in the footsteps of its older and arguably very popular sibling, the LetShouer S12, the S08 aims to bring the same performance for price value to an even lower price point, retailing at under $100 American. This budget-friendly planar IEM aims to introduce another model that helped the LetShouer brand gain recognition in the greater audiophile community. Let's take a look at this new generation planar IEM. If you're new to the channel and find this content interesting, do me a huge favor and click the subscribe button down below. If you are already subscribed, I hope you strike lottery someday. Kicking things off with an unboxing, on the front of the sleeve is the underlying motif that the S08 sports, which look almost like an infinity symbol. On the side of the box you have the almighty high-res audio logo on it, but besides that there really isn't much going on at the back. Inside it is where things are more interesting. The chassis of the S08 is nestled in foam, looking like it's having a great time. Below that is the beautiful LetShouer hockey puck case. This has been the default case for LetShouer for a while now and was even seen in previous models such as the DZ4. Although it's plastic, I appreciate that this is unique to LetShouer. Inside the case you'll find the cable, a set of ear tips and interchangeable plugs. Build quality. The build quality of the S08 is stellar for the price. It features a solid metal shell that is CNC precision milled and showcases a curvy, sexy design that's a standout for the model. It also comes in both anodized silver and anodized black for those who want something different. The finish of the shell is somewhere between smooth and textured, giving it a nice grip when inserting or removing the shell. Unlike resin or shiny-based plastic shells, it won't pick up any fingerprints or body oils easily. The S08's cable is a pretty standard braided silver-plated copper 4-core 0.78mm 2-pin cable and is of decent build quality. It also comes with a modular connector allowing you to swap between the provided 3.5mm and 4.4mm hits. It's not very microphonic and does the job pretty well. You might consider upgrading the cable for both sound and comfort, but it's not a necessary change. The driver featured is their 4th generation 13mm planar driver, manufactured with a Megatron sputtering process and has a dual voice coil planar design. Compared to earlier planar IEMs, the S08 is much more efficiently packaged, helping reduce the size of the IEM. At $100, a full metal shell isn't rare, but one that feels as solid as this is not the norm, so this gets a plus in my book. The provided ear tips are serviceable and quite comfortable, and won't end up as e-waste. They are good enough for the price and are, well, really comfortable. Two different styles are provided, one offering balanced tuning while the other is a bit more vocal-centric. The small size of the drivers makes the S08 extremely comfortable and it's a great fit for most, except the smallest of ears. All in all, for $100, it's a pretty solid option with plenty to offer in terms of build quality, accessories, and overall design. Now on to sound. The S08 has a unmistakably planar sound, with all the characteristics like a relatively flat bass response climbing up to the mid-range. It is reminiscent of its older brother the S12 and is similar enough that most people might choose this over the slightly pricier S12. Comparatively, the slightly rolled-off treble helps the overall tuning to edge on the cups of warm neutral. It's a fairly safe tuning and is pretty easy to listen to. Bass. The bass is well textured into the lower sub-bass regions and is nicely controlled without any kind of bloat or mud. There's a nice punchy kick that doesn't take center stage but works well with more modern songs. It's presented with a good amount of detail and speed and won't be lost on more complex bass tracks. While it's not the main focus, it seems to edge out over the other frequencies in terms of performance. Mid-range. The mids of the S08 are fairly well rendered, with male vocals not being at the forefront, taking a more relaxed tone. Female vocals and upper mids are slightly more forward, with a sweetness that makes the mid-range very pleasant. Details are again nicely presented here and imaging is also stellar. Resolution here is good as well. Treble. The S08's treble is not as aggressive as in other planar IEMs such as. It's still airy but with a slight drop off, reminding me of dynamic drivers in a small sense. There's still great headroom and sparkle on some tracks, but don't expect it to win favour with treble-loving audiophiles. Soundstage. The soundstage is good but not stellar. It has some width and height, but nothing too spacious. It's a decent middle ground with better width rendering than height. depth is adequate and serviceable, but the clear strong point of the S08 is its imaging. So next up, some comparisons. Firstly, versus the NFAudio's RA15. Between the two, they are quite similar, but the NFAudio has slightly nicer build quality with the sandblasted shell. The cable on the S08 is better, but the sound of the RA15 is superior in terms of resolution and neutrality, making it my pick between the two. This is a clear winner for me. Next up, versus the DUNU Titan S2. The Titan S2 has a slightly cheaper looking shell despite it being also made of metal, but it is a fingerprint magnet and is not easy to maintain. The Titan S2 has much less resolution and weaker bass performance as well. Mids are presented with better imaging, but the S08 wins in almost every other category. Next up, versus the LetShouer S12 Pro. The S12 Pro is similar in many aspects except the extended treble response, which means that it is brighter and has more air compared to the S08. I think that the S12 Pro is overall a better package in terms of performance and tuning and also resolution. But for almost 2/3 of the price of the S12 Pro, the S08 is a strong contender in the sub $100 price range. Next up, these are some things that I like about the S08. It is firstly a very affordable planar IEM with all the good qualities of recent planar IEMs. It is also a great option for those who are interested to try out a planar IEM at a lower cost. These are some things that I dislike about the S08. Firstly, it's quite a plain Jane IEM, nothing bad going for it, but also nothing truly special or standing out. So ratings, it's now time to rate the S08. Starting off with bass, the S08 exhibits typical planar characteristics with bass that is linear and well controlled with good resolution. However, in terms of dynamics, it's also pretty planar-like. Dynamic but not matching the explosiveness of dynamic drivers. 7.5 out of 10. Mid-range is more relaxed on the S08 but still has good presence in the overall sonic mix. I like how female vocals are rendered with good resolution. 7 out of 10. Treble is quite different from other planar offerings. It isn't as aggressive, which is a good thing for a planar IEM, but it doesn't extend excessively as well. 7 out of 10. Soundstage is quite average, not the greatest out there, but comfortable enough to be realistic. 7.5 out of 10. And lastly, the most important metric, the enjoyment factor. Overall, the S08 is a largely enjoyable planar IEM that's available for less than $100. Considering all factors, I'd say that they deserve a strong A-. Conclusion, hope you guys enjoyed the Super Audio show today. If you like the content, please kindly like and subscribe right here down below. I will be talking about more audio stuff in the coming few days. I am back from my trip, so yeah, ergo that's why you see the new glasses and haircut. With that said, I hope to see you guys soon.